Humble beginnings and struggles. Born in 1822 in Point Pleasant, Ohio, Ulysses S. Grant entered the world as Hiram Ulysses Grant. Raised in a modest family, young Grant showed little interest in the military, preferring a quiet life over the discipline of the armed forces. However, his father, Jesse Grant, saw an opportunity for a free education and secured him a nomination to the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1839. But even before he set foot on the Academy's grounds, a simple clerical error altered the course of his life. The nominating congressman, Thomas Hammer, mistakenly recorded his name as Ulysses S. Grant, thinking his mother's maiden name, Simpson, was his middle name. Rather than contest the mistake, Grant accepted this new identity, a decision that would later mark him as one of the most iconic figures in American history. Despite the name change, Grant's time at West Point was unremarkable. He was an average student, graduating 21st out of 39 in his class. He excelled in horsemanship, setting a high jump record that stood for decades, but otherwise, his career began without distinction. After West Point, Grant served in the Mexican-American War, but after years of service, he resigned from the military in 1854 amid rumors of heavy drinking. The next few years were tough. He struggled to find success in civilian life, working as a farmer, a real estate agent, and even selling firewood. By 1860, he was barely scraping by, his prospects dim, and his name still largely unknown. Return to military service and early Civil War successes. When the Civil War erupted in 1861, Grant was working in his father's leather goods store in Galena, Illinois. With his military background, he was quickly drawn back into service, but his return was far from grand. Initially assigned to train volunteer regiments, he quietly worked behind the scenes until a series of events thrust him into the spotlight. Grant's first significant command came in September 1861 when he seized Paducah, Kentucky, securing a critical position for the Union. But it was his bold move at Fort Donelson in February 1862 that truly marked his emergence. Facing a large Confederate force, Grant demanded their unconditional surrender, earning him the nickname Unconditional Surrender Grant. This victory, a key strategic win for the Union, catapulted him into national recognition almost overnight. Despite his growing reputation, Grant remained unassuming, focused on the task at hand. His early successes in Western theater, including the bloody Battle of Shiloh, where he displayed tenacity in the face of overwhelming casualties, set the stage for his meteoric rise within the Union Army. His ability to lead and his willingness to engage the enemy directly marked him as a different kind of general, one who understood that total war was necessary to preserve the Union. The turning point. The Vicksburg Campaign. The real turning point in Grant's military career came with the Vicksburg Campaign in 1863. Vicksburg, Mississippi was the last major Confederate stronghold on the Mississippi River, and its capture would effectively split the Confederacy in two. The task of taking Vicksburg was daunting. Its natural defenses were formidable, and previous Union attempts to seize it had failed. But Grant approached the problem with characteristic determination and innovative tactics. He launched a series of maneuvers that confused and stretched the Confederate forces, culminating in the siege that lasted over 40 days. On July 4, 1863, Vicksburg surrendered and the Union gained control of the Mississippi River. This victory was one of the most significant of the war and cemented Grant's reputation as a brilliant military strategist. Grant's success at Vicksburg did more than just weaken the Confederacy. It solidified his position as the Union's most capable general. His ability to coordinate large-scale operations and his unyielding resolve under pressure were qualities that set him apart. The victory at Vicksburg was a major step in his journey from an obscure officer to one of the most prominent military leaders in American history. Appointment as General-in-Chief and the Overland Campaign. Grant's rise continued as President Abraham Lincoln, recognizing his leadership and strategic brilliance, appointed him General-in-Chief of all Union armies in March 1864. This was a significant elevation, making Grant the highest-ranking officer in the Union Army and placing the entire war effort in his hands. Grant's strategy was simple yet brutal. He would apply constant pressure on the Confederate forces using the Union's superior numbers and resources to wear them down. This approach became evident during the Overland Campaign, a series of relentless battles in Virginia aimed at crushing General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia. The campaign was marked by some of the bloodiest fighting of the war, with massive casualties on both sides. Despite the staggering losses, Grant refused to retreat or disengage. His determination to press forward despite the cost demonstrated his understanding of the war's broader strategic necessities. His relentless pursuit of Lee's forces eventually led to the siege of Petersburg and the fall of Richmond, signaling the beginning of the end for the Confederacy. The surrender at Appomattox and national hero status. The culmination of Grant's rise came on April 9, 1865 at Appomattox Courthouse, where General Robert E. Lee, recognizing the futility of further resistance, surrendered his army to Grant. The meeting between the two generals was conducted with respect and dignity. Grant's terms of surrender were generous. Confederate soldiers were allowed to return home with their personal possessions, horses, and sidearms, and they would not be prosecuted for treason. This act of magnanimity helped begin the process of national healing and reunification. Grant, once an obscure officer with a mistaken name, had risen to become a symbol of Union victory and American resolve. His humility, integrity, and military genius made him a national hero, paving the way for his election as the 18th President of the United States in 1868. The name Ulysses S. Grant, born of a clerical error, would forever be etched into the annals of American history. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and check out some of our playlists for other American history.